Welcome to our 2022 RPOD 195. We're going to start right in the back bumper here. You just kind of reach in, pull that cap out of there, and then into the bumper a little bit. We got your sewer hose in there. So just take note of those two ears in the adapter here. That's how we'll be hooking it up to your sewer system. And the hose itself, once fully extended, is about 20 feet long. We're just storing it in the bumper here. Just helps keep any sort of stench out of the unit, keeps things a little bit cleaner for you. And then that cap just kind of presses back into place. Around the corner, you'll find the port for your power cord, so that just pops on open. In the bottom corner, you'll find a little notch on that one prong there. It'll line up with that prong here. You'll be pressing it in, give it a little eighth turn, locks it into place, and then you get the threaded collar in the back there to really lock it down. And as we follow that cord back, you're going to find a standard 30 amp end here. Most campsites are going to have that. You can just plug straight on in, and you're good to go. We do also provide you with a 15 amp adapter, so if you're looking to plug in at home to a standard outlet to run your fridge or charge your batteries, you do have the power to do so. Right beside your power inlet is going to be a coax inlet, so you just take a coax cable, plug it into there, and it'll fire up at your TV location. In this corner, as well as each corner of the trailer, you've got these stabilizer jacks here, so what they'll do is they'll just run down, contact the ground, give them another turn or so just to firm them up, and they'll just get rid of any sort of bounce and sway that you got in the unit right now. Just keep things firm for you while you're out camping. Another step down, we've got your sewer system here. So this is going to be for your gray tank, which is filled from your kitchen sinks and your bathroom sink and your shower. So typically it's going to be your cleanest water. We'll be dumping this tank last. You're just going to pull that cap off just like that. Your sewer hose has the same ears, so it'll be attached in the same way. Turn it until it clicks in, and then you're just going to pull that valve to drain it out. And then ahead of the wheel here, you've got the other end of your sewer systems. This is for your black tank. This is filled from your toilets. This is going to be your dirtiest water. So you'll be dumping this tank first, exact same as the other one. Attach your hose, tighten it down, pull the drain, and that'll dump itself out. Once that's done, then you'd go and do the black just to help get that cleaner water through it last, just keep things as clean as possible. Another step forward, you've got your freshwater connection here, so you're just going to pull that cap off of there, take your water hose and stick it into there, turn on the water, and that'll fill up your freshwater tank. You know that tank is full once it starts spitting water out of the vent here, or just by watching the monitor panel inside. Below that, we've got a city water connection here, so the same water hose will plug into there, turn on the water, and that'll pressurize the lines throughout the unit. And your freshwater tank drain is just that little black cap back there. You just be pulling that off and draining the water out. Ahead of that, we've one end of your storage compartment here, just held up by a little magnet latch. And inside of the compartment, we find your water hose here, as well as the park adapter I was telling you about. So your 30 amp cord into there, 15 amp for a standard household outlet. Once it comes time, if you're looking to winterize the unit yourself, your access to your water pump will be right behind this panel here. So you just get 1, 2, 3, and 4 screws for it, and pop that panel off, and you get access to your water tank, to your water pump. Right up top here, you've also got an inverter. So a little power button on the back there just inverts your 12 volt power to 120 volts. So if you're looking to run your fridge while you're out boondocking, you got power for it. And then this bag right here is just holding your little adder room. So the customer has opted to go with one of those, so we just got that stored right in here. And then closing that compartment up. And around the front of the unit, it's that little black box up on the frame there. That is your battery disconnect switch. So with that horizontal, that's it turned on. With that vertical, that's it turned off. So for storage, of course, you'd want that turned off. Any other time, you want that turned on. Battery itself is housed inside of this box here. So as long as you're plugged in through that short cord in the back or your 7-pin to your tow vehicle, that battery is charging for you. A couple of hangers here. Those are just for your weight distribution set that the customer has opted to go with as well. Got one little knob back there. If you loosen that off, you can push it back, and then you can open up this flap, and you get access to your propane tank. Standard barbecue style tank. You're just going to open up that valve to turn it on. Then around front, we've got a power tongue jack here. So up top, we've got the light switch, and then down on the bottom, up is up, down is down. Other end of your storage compartment here, it's the same magnetic latch, holds it open, and as you can see, like I said, the customer's opted for a weight distribution hitch, so we just got that stored in here. They've also gone with the Echo Bluetooth brake control, so again, that's just stored right in here. Right behind that as well, we've got this little water hose here, so you can see it's just got those two ears right there. That's how we'll be hooking it into our sewer system, right inside of this port here. So pop that on open, you can see it's got the two ears there as well. Just line it up, press it in, give it a little eighth turn, and it clicks into place, and that's that. At the end, you'll find the little garden hose end with all of the different settings for it. In here, we've also got your kind of exterior kitchen stored as well. So you get your one little countertop here. So that'll just sit right in here. So you just get this little channel in the back. So you're just going to hook in that top piece and then let it sit down. Make sure it's not hitting that power outlet there. And then for your griddle, you got a stand for it. So that's just gonna pull on out. We'll just put that down on our bench here real quick. Okay, so you got your stand here, you got the two little arms, those kind of swing out and just click into place. And then it's got the same mount in the back. You're gonna line up that back piece, let it sit down. Just this guy out of the way, make life easier. Oh, there we go. So you're just pressing it in, giving it a turn until it pops out of there. And so you can see it just kind of sits firmly against the wall. And then you're going to take your griddle. You got the two little channels on either side here. You're going to line those up with the arms, slide it onto there. So it's in all the way. Then you have the little pin on the ends, both sides. Just slide those in, locks it in place. And then for your propane hose here, you just get your quick connect right there. You're just going to pull that collar back and you can disconnect it. And then right in the back, you're just going to push that collar back into there and connect that up. And then down underneath the unit here, we've got your quick connect for your propane system. So it's the exact same. You get the black collar here, just with the addition of that valve. And with that valve open, you cannot undo that quick connect, so just kind of an added safety. So you close off the valve, then you can attach your hose, and then you can open it up. And then with the knob here, you're just going to press it in, turn it over into and past light, and you can see she fires right up. Now the first time you do go to use your propane system, it can take a minute to fire everything up just because it's got to clear air out of the propane lines. That is perfectly normal. Once we're done, we're just pulling that latch out of there and getting rid of our hose. We're going to turn off that propane valve, push that collar back, and we can pull that out of there. And then I just like to connect the hose to itself, just ensures that absolutely nothing's getting in there. And then we just be storing it back away. The exact opposite is how we've pulled it out. So underneath your little counter here, you can see you got the GFI protected outlet. So that just reset is just inside. Then forward a bit, you have your water outlet I've shown you, and then down below that is a black tank flush. So you may notice over time you've dumped out your black tank and you know for a fact it is empty, but your monitor panel is still reading 1/3 or 2/3, whatever it may be. Typically that's some debris inside of your tank just hanging between the probes causing that misread. So what you can do is just take your water hose, plug it into here, open up that black tank, turn on the water, and it'll just flush out that tank, getting rid of any sort of debris that might be causing your issue. Also while we're here, I'll just point out all the little hangers along the side of the trailer here. Those are for the outer room skirt. You'll just be hooking them into there, and that's that. Also, that little pin is just for an added extension to the skirt, just to help come over the wheels. It'll just be clipping into there, super easy. And towards the back of the unit, right around the corner here, you just got a vent for your fridge, so nothing back there for you to worry about. It's just a service port. Down below that, we've got your hot water tank. So you just get that one little keyway there. You're just going to line that up, and you can pop it on open. All of your controls for turning it on with propane are just inside the unit. Before you ever do turn it on, you just want to hit this relief valve right there. Make sure a shot of water comes out. A little bit of water coming out is just letting you know that it is full. It's safe to fire it up, and you're not going to burn anything out by doing so. It is currently empty just because we've got the unit winterized right now. But if it were full, you would get that little bit of water there. For turning it on with electricity, you've just got a little switch down here. Turn that on, fires up on electricity. And as I said, propane switch is inside. And once we get to that and do it, I will go over a reset procedure, and the button that I'll refer to is just right here. Closing that back up, you're just lining up that keyway, locking it back down, and there you have it. Low point drains are also right down here. You got a couple of lines there, so red is hot, white is cold. I'm just going to open those up, and it drains out the water system. The purpose of that would be if you're leaving the trailer for a while and you don't want your water going stale or stagnant, you're just going to drain it all out, make sure that it's all empty. Secondly would be for winterizing. You just want all that water out before you start pumping the antifreeze through. Then we've of course got a spare tire back here. Got a stove vent here as well. So of course propane stove, it is putting off fumes whenever you're using it, so you just want to make sure that this flap here is opened up with your fan inside turned on so that you're evacuating those fumes. Down from there, you've got the exhaust for your furnace. So whenever you're running your furnace, you just want to make sure nothing's blocking that off. It does get hot. And then lastly would just be the ladder back here to get up top for your seals and your observation camera, which is pre-wired. And then for your entry door, you're just going to take your assist handle up 90 degrees over, pops into place. Then we can open up our door. You do have the little stopper on it so that it doesn't slam through the fender, but of course just keep that in mind. You don't want to be testing it too much. For your step, you're just going to pull that out, flip that last step over, and then we can make our way in. When you first get in, first things first is your fire extinguisher. It's the standard, pull the pin, point and shoot. Right beside that you can see you've got the pet bowls there. This is a pet edition unit, so you do have those as well as a latch to the frame somewhere for a leash. You get the hangers here for a little closet space, and then the switch on the right here does all of your interior lights. Center right, that switch there is a porch light outside. In the very center we've got your awning LED switch. Center left we've got your slide out room, so press and hold the bottom of that and the slide will make its way out. Once the slide's fully extended, you'll just hear some whines from the motors letting you know they've reached their stall, and they do also square themselves off. And then it just automatically stops. On the very left, you've got your awning switch, so press and hold extend, and the awning will make its way out. And once that awning is fully extended, you'll see the black flap come down as well as the black of the metal tube. Once you see that, you're going to want to stop. If you were to continue extending, it will actually wind itself up backwards, in which case your fabric will be underneath your tube, allowing it to then hold water, accelerating the growth of mold and mildew. So there's our flap, and there's our tube, so we'll see that and it'll stop. Now if it were to start raining, it's of course going to be holding some water anyways, so what you can do is just grab either arm, front or rear, and just pull it on down. And you can see that changes the pitch of the awning out at the head, allowing water to then run off. Now if you like that angle better, because it does give you more shade, you can do the same thing with the arm up front. Before you bring it back in though, you just want to make sure that these guys are back out straight and fully extended, just so that we're not running the risk of bending anything. Then we'll press and hold the tract, and the awning will make its way back in. And one more thing to keep in mind with your awning is it does just catch a lot of wind. So once you get up to about 15-20 kilometers an hour wind, you want to bring it back in just so that you're not running the risk of bending your arms. There you have it. So straight up above that, we've got your solar charge controller. So we do have a wet style battery installed, so that's what I've got it set to. If you were to change that, you'd just be pressing and holding the battery type, and then that'll flash. And then just right at the bottom here, you can cycle through all of your different types of batteries. All right, we are gonna leave that at wet since that's what we got right now. Once it's done flashing, that'll be it, and it'll just be kind of back to its just, sitting mode. There we go. And then up top here, you got your amp and voltage button. So if you just press that, you can go through and see what you're currently charging at. So because we're inside, we're currently at 0 amps charging, not charging at all. And then the amp hour is the same idea. And then voltage to see what your battery is just currently at. 13.7 is a charging voltage. Because we're plugged in, we are currently charging. Beside that all, we've got your monitor panel here. So the bottom right, we've got your water pump. Turn that switch on, turns on your water pump, drawing out of your fresh water tank to pressurize your lines. And then on the left here, we've got your water heater. So turn that switch on, you'll get that little red light there letting you know the ignition sequence will start. Once that light goes out, the sequence has started. And it's gonna try that 3 times, and if after that 3rd try it hasn't fired up, this light's gonna come on and it's gonna stay on. At that point, you'll be going and using that reset button that we'd shown you. So sat right here, you can actually hear the whir of that flame. We know that that tank's good. Up from there, we've got your monitor system. So on the bottom, we got battery. So as I said earlier, we're currently C for charging. G would be good, F is fair, L is low. Fresh tank, as you fill that up, you go to 1/3, 2/3, and full. Same idea for your black and your gray. Fridge behind us here. So as you open that up, you got all of your controls across the top here. Just come on in. Right across the top there. So with this button on the left, over flush, you're currently at off. If you have it at flush, that's it turned on. The button on the right at flush, that's it going to be running on auto. Auto is first going to look for AC power. If AC power is taken away, it'll automatically flip over to gas. And if you're out boondocking and you want it running solely off of the gas, have that button come out and it'll run just on the gas. As I'd mentioned earlier, you do have that inverter in that front storage compartment. So if you were to turn that on and have this run on auto, it would have the 120 volt power to run itself, whether you're plugged in or not. So that button on the right there over flush is off. And down below, you got your fridge compartments here. So in the back corner, you can see you got that little slider, and as the sticker says, up is colder, down is warmer. Down below that all, on the very left here, you've got your converter. So just press the top and center, pops on open. Get all of your breakers across the left side here. Whenever a breaker breaks, it's gonna sit in the middle. So just turn it off and then back on. And then on the right side, you get all of your fuses. Down below that is a little kind of dust pan eliminator, I guess we could call it. So as you lift that up, It then uses the vacuum to just kind of suck everything up right off of the floor. Eliminates the use for a dustpan. Right. For getting to the bag, you're just gonna pull that slider over, you can open it up and there's your bag. Close it back down, and then the power button just on the side here if you wanted to use your hose, which attaches right there. And then into the kitchen, we got a little bit of storage down below, just being mindful of our drains and our water lines. You of course don't want to be breaking those. A little bit of drawer space here as well. You get your furnace right down here. I'll go over that in just a second once we get it fired up. Up above that, we got your microwaves, pretty standard, just like home, just with the addition of convection. This little light right here does a little accent light. Then for your stove, it just folds on open. Then you're just going to turn it over the light, hit it with a lighter, then she fires right up. Like I said earlier, it may take a minute to get all your propane appliances fired up the first time, especially if it's been a while. It's perfectly normal. Remember, whenever you're running the stove, you are putting off those fumes, so this fan right here is what you want turned on. You also get a light up here as well. Storage across the top. And then the blinds throughout the unit pretty well just sit where you leave them. Center push button light up here. Power outlet up on the side, GFI protected. Your sink cover is just a soft plastic, so nothing hard on it. Hot and cold water, of course. Mobile head. Then right behind us here, we've got a pantry. You can open that up. You do have the adjustable shelves, so you can just slide them wherever you want them. And then in your dinette area here, you just got all the storage up above. And then your table here, you can see that's strapped down. So right underneath this cushion here, you got the strap there, just to undo that. Throw it off to the side. Flip up our legs here. Lock them into place. And then your table would just be getting plopped down right here. And then we just have these cushions over here. They have the Velcro on the bottom, and they just sit right on the Velcro little pedestals to kind of fill in the little surrounding dinette. And then for a bed, you'd just be taking your legs back in, and then it'd be sitting on the two pedestal edges, as well as kind of underneath there. And then you'd be taking this cushion right here to fill in the center over top of your dinette, and you can create a bedding area over here. For putting it back away, we're just going to lift it up, bring our legs back in. Plop it down on the dinette seats, grab the strap, and strap it back down. Again, blinds just sit where you leave them. You pull those two handles here, swing the window out and hop on out. And then into the bathroom here. So your light switch is just up on the wall. GFI protected outlet over here, so test on the bottom, reset up top. So if you ever have outlets that don't work, it's the first thing you should check. Toilet here just flips on up, flushers front and center. Medicine cabinets here. Down below you will also find a toilet paper dispenser. We just don't install it simply because location is a personal preference. Hot and cold water at your sink, of course. A little bit of storage down below. Again, mindful of our drains and our water lines. And then behind me in your shower, pretty standard, straightforward, just with the addition of this shower miser. So with this handle here up, that's it going to be using the shower. With that handle here down, it's going to be then just recirculating your water back into your fresh tank. So while you're sat here waiting for some hot water to show up, you just run that down, get it into the tank, and just reuse it rather than just dumping it. Sliding door, of course, just the magnetic latch holds it open. Actually, the last thing in here is your roof vent. So you have a little lock in the back corner here, just make sure that's unlocked. You got the knob in the back corner, opens it up. And then you get your switches in this corner here. So you get speed 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then if you hit it again after 4, it just cycles back down to 1. You get the off switch right there. It is an automatic off as well. If it is closed, that fan will turn off. Make sure it's locked once it's closed. And there we go. This thermostat just around the corner here. That bottom bar will wake it up. The first thing it'll go to is the low speed fan. So there's no cooling involved in that. It's just moving air with the low fan. So you can hear that going there. Hit that bar again after low fan, it'll come into high fan. So same thing, it's just moving air at the high fan, no cooling. And after the high fan, come down into cool high. So at this point, the compressor would cycle in and out as needed, leaving the high fan on all the time. Same idea with low, compressor all the time, or sorry, compressor in and out is needed, low fan all the time. After that, we'll come down into auto, and that's where it'll become an on-demand system. Your compressor and your fan will cut in and out as needed, only ever using the low fan. Same idea with high, both in and out as needed, on demand. Temp selection is just with your arrows here. Hit that bar again after that cool high auto. We'll come down into heat. It'll turn off the air conditioner and it'll turn on the furnace. And just real quick while we're at the air conditioner here, you have these two little louvers on either side. You can close those off or open them up just to choose where your air is getting shot. So now that we have the furnace going, I'll just go through that real quick. So the nice thing about this guy is if you look in the bottom left corner, you'll actually see the little blue flame once it's going. You can actually see it just there. It is. Okay. The only downside is that it's just dumping all of its air right here. So if you'd like to go and get yourself a fan to help move the air throughout, by all means. After heat, if we hit that bar again, comes down into off and then just cycles back around. Straight down from the thermostat, we've got your LP detector. It's a propane saver in there. It'll set on the floor. This guy will detect it and start going off just like a smoke detector would. And then into your bedroom here, you have a little USB outlet on the side here as well as a power outlet. Like I said earlier, blinds just sit where you leave them. You got the closet space here. The little light switch on the side illuminates both closets. And if we pick up the foot of your bed here, you can see you get access to a little storage compartment. It also kind of just shows us on the other side there, you get the same outlet and USB on the other side. So back here, you have this window here, so you can see with this blind up, connected, you have your blind there. With them connected and down, you get just a screen. You can disconnect them and have them both up. And then you get access to all of your handles for your window here. So we'll just undo all of those. And then you can push it up and out. So that becomes, firstly, an emergency exit. Secondly, it's just an open window. So you get your knobs on either side. You can tighten those down. Holds the window open for you. There you go. And then you can bring your screen down. Give yourself that open window. Once we're done, just undoing it, loosening off the knob. And tightening down all the latches. Same sort of closet over here. And same sliding window there as you have on the other side. And up on the wall here, we've of course got your TV, so that is on a mount, so that swings out. Point it wherever you like it, whatever works best for you. Right behind it here, got your antenna outlet, so that's already hooked up. Power button for the antenna outlet's just right here, just make sure that red light's on, that's it turned on. If it's off, it's off. 12 volt outlet for your TV. Right up above it, we've got your cable and satellite outlets. Over on the side here of your stereo, so top button there turns it on. And then you've just got all your settings there, so your Bluetooth, your AM, FM, your Seeks right here. Volume and your settings actually are all at this knob here. Zone 1 is your inside set of speakers, Zone 2 is your outside set. Beyond that, pretty straightforward, excellent little stereo. Pressing the power button turns it off, pressing the power button mutes it, press and hold to turn it off. Alright, we'll just swing this back around, make sure that's tucked up nicely. Strap it back down. Alright, and I do believe that's about it for this little guy. If you've got any other questions on the unit, please feel free to give us a call, 204-237-7272.